The ongoing war between Iran and Israel is causing deep concern in Ukraine, even though the two conflicts are happening in very same parts of the world. Ukrainian officials fear that the growing violence in the Middle East could shift global attention away from their own battle against Russia. Since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine began in 2022, Kyiv has relied heavily on international support, specifically from the United States and Europe, for weapons, financial aid, and diplomatic backing. But now the world focuses on a rapidly escalating Iran-Israel conflict. Ukrainian leaders worry that their own crisis may be pushed aside. Well, the recent conflict began when Israel launched a powerful bombing campaign on Iranian military and nuclear sites. Iran, which is a close ally of Russia, responded by firing missiles and drones at Israeli cities. These attacks caused not only destruction but also a sharp rise in global oil prices. Now, for Ukraine, the surge in oil prices is a serious problem because it allows Russia to earn more money from oil exports, giving Moscow more fund to continue its war. In fact, a senior Ukrainian official explained that the longer oil prices stay high, the more Russia profits, and those profits directly support the bombing and destruction in Ukraine. At the very same time, Ukraine has quietly welcomed Israel's attack on Iran. Iranian weapons, including drones and missiles, have been used by Russia to target Ukrainian cities, so any damage to Iran's military industries could actually weaken Moscow's ability to continue the war. Israeli airstrikes have rapidly killed several senior Iranian military officials and damaged missile production sites, actions that may reduce the number of Iranian weapons that Russia can receive. Ukrainian officials believe that this could limit Tehran's ability to support Moscow in near future. In fact, one Ukrainian political source put it bluntly. He said that the Iranian regime is Russia's ally, so the more they lose, the better. Israel is doing the world a favor. However, Ukraine remains deeply worried about the possibility of reducing support from the United States. Under President Donald Trump, Washington has emphasized that its strategic priorities in the Middle East and Asia, placing Europe and therefore Ukraine lower on the list. Now, this shift in focus could make it harder for Ukraine to get the military support that it needs. Zelensky has openly expressed concern, warning that Iran-Israel war can actually cause delays or reduction in aid, just as Israel's war in Gaza did in 2023. He mentioned that America's missiles, which Ukraine desperately needs to shut down Russian drones, could now be sent to Israel instead. Well, in the light of these challenges, Ukraine has started investing more in its own weapon industry. Officials in Zelensky's office have said that the war in Gaza and now the war between Iran and Israel have taught Ukraine a hard lesson. It cannot depend forever on outside help. In the meantime, international observers like the British Defense Minister has noted that while Iran's ability to send weapons to Russia may now be weakened, the overall shift in global focus towards the Middle East could benefit Moscow. The Kremlin may use the distraction to make new moves on the battlefield while the world looks elsewhere. While despite the potential benefits of a weakened Iran, Ukrainian experts are urging caution. Military analysis and certain bloggers want Ukrainians not to celebrate too quickly. They are acknowledging that Iran is a hostile power, but said that war in the Middle East will dry up oil prices and that always benefits Russia. So, while some parts of the conflict may help Ukraine, others may actually make the situation worse. In the end, Ukraine finds itself in a very delicate position. On one hand, Israel's strike on Iran could slow down Tehran's support for Russia. But on the other hand, the global shift in focus and the economic impact of rising the oil prices could allow Russia to strengthen its war effort. As missiles fly across the skies of the Middle East, Ukraine is still hoping that the world does not forget about the war still raging in its own backyard.